Good morning to all my math maniacs out there. What we're going to learn about today is lines. We're going to learn about lines, rays, and angles. That's it. Lines, rays, and angles. Now, I will say that there is a lot of vocabulary in this lesson. Not a whole lot of knowing math, but there is a lot of vocabulary. So I would take this time right now to go ahead and pause your video and make sure that you have a pencil and paper so you can take notes. Go ahead and pause it. All right, you're back. Good. So let's talk about lines first. Before we get into angles, we need to know what a line is or a point. So a point is just I'm going to show you an example. A point is an exact location in space, or in a space, I should say. So a point would just simply look like this, as an example. Where is the point on this piece of paper? It's right where I put my dot. That is a point. Now, why is that important? Because we're going to talk about lines, line segments, and rays, and we need to know about what a point is before we can do that. So a line is not just simply what you would imagine. It's something like that. People would look at that and say, "Oh, what is that?" And then most people would say, "Oh, that's a very crooked line." I agree that it is crooked, but that is not a line. What makes it a line is if I put an arrow right here, an arrow right here, and then I put a point right here, and a point right here, and I'm going to call this A, and I'm going to call this point B. So that would be line AB. And you say, well, why do we need those arrows at the end in order to make it a line? These arrows are telling me that after B right here, it goes on and on and on and on forever. And then the arrow right here tells me this goes on and on and on forever. It never stops. So a line never stops. The arrow is like your go button. It keeps going and going and going. Okay, now we have line segments. Right here and here. Let's call this A, this point B as well. Now a line segment has a start and a stop point. So this line segment right here is line segment AB. Has a start and a stop point, has two endpoints, okay, where a line has the arrows right here. You see there are no arrows down here, so a line does not have a start and a stop point. A line segment does. And then a ray. I love my rays. Love my rays. A ray has, well, let's do this. Oh, look how nice and straight that one is. Woo! A lot better than the first two examples. So a ray will have a start point, A, but no end point, B. So this would be a ray AB. It has a start point and but no end point. So what I like to do, just refresh my memory, is I use examples, and I like to get up and move around and all that kind of stuff. So I use this as a point. This is my point, and I use this as my arrow. Okay, so let's see if I can give you guys an example here. So I love the space here because you can't see what I have right here. Okay, so if I have this is going to be my start, or this is going to be my point, and that's going to be my arrow. So what am I holding up right now? 2 points. So that would be a line segment. You were exactly right. Okay, how about now? Wait for it, wait for it. Okay, it goes on and on and on forever. That goes on and on forever. That would be a line. So that line keeps going. It's going to bust through that wall right there. It's going to bust through that mirror right there. It goes on from on and on and on. Okay, one more. Point. Goes on forever. That would be considered a ray. Again, a ray. All right, one last one. Bonus. Array. Yes, you got it. So again, this lesson is filled with a lot of vocabulary. So what we just learned right there were 4 different vocabulary terms. We learned about a point, that's just an exact spot in space, represented by a dot, and then we can label it A, B, C, D, or anything in any letter in the alphabet that we want. It's an exact space on what we're going to see on these lines, or line segments or rays. And then we learn about a line. A line just goes on and on in each direction. It never stops. From here, and it just never stops. And then we learn about a line segment. A line segment has a starting point and a stopping point, represented by 2 points. And then we have our final vocabulary word, whatever you want to call it. It's a ray. A ray has a starting point, but then on the opposite side of the ray, it just keeps going on and on and on. Now it's important we know those 4 terms, those 4 vocabulary terms, and you're going to have to memorize them because we need lines, line segments, rays, and points in order to form an angle. And there are 4 different types of angles I'm about to teach you. We need to know those terms before we can learn about angles. So what we're going to do now, or what we're going to do next, is learn about 4. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. So we just learned about lines and their related vocabulary terms. Now we're going to learn about angles. And the most important angle, or the one that we base our other angles off of, is called a right angle. Okay, so an angle are 2 lines that share a common endpoint. What do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look. We're going to start out what a right angle looks like, because everything else is based off of a right angle. So a right angle is almost like the letter L. So I'm going to come down here, and there's my endpoint. This line's going to go on and on forever, and I'm going to come straight right here, and that is going to go on and on forever. I'm going to call this right here point A. This is going to be point B, and then we'll call this point C. So this is called angle. I say that's just the symbol for angle, A, B, C. So you follow A, and what's it do at B? It forms a right angle. It forms the letter L, like the letter L. Now, it could also go this way, so be a reverse L or an upside down L, but the bottom line is it makes like this. You would see that I just made a square right there. And the author will show you this in some of the examples in the book, or wherever you see it, maybe online, and that's telling you, hey, it's screaming to you, this is a right angle. So this is right angle ABC, right angle. It forms some type of L, upside down L, regular letter L, upside down, backwards L, but it forms some form of L where you can make a square right here. Now, everything that we do is based on, or everything that we're going to learn, I should say, is based on kind of a right angle. So let's come down here, and I'm just going to make this one a dot. Dot, 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 dot. I'm not going to even put a point on that because I'm making it a dot. I'm going to come up this way. I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to come this way right here, and this line goes on forever. And these two lines are going to meet at this common endpoint. And I'm going to call this endpoint E. Let's make this point right here D, and this point right here, the letter F. Hello, F. These are my 3 points. So this angle right here would be called angle DEF. Now, why did I write this little imaginary line right here? Because we are talking about D, E, and F. Now, if you notice, it started out like this, and then the angle got smaller and smaller and smaller. So if I started right here at F, and I wanted to make a right angle, I'd come around, oh, I'd block it right there. But if I wanted a right angle, I would add more lead. I would add more lead. It would be a lot of lead right there going through D, E, and F. But due to the fact that I am talking about D, E, F, when I come up here, boom, stop right there. If it would keep going, there'd be a lot more lead. D, E, F. So I'm going to start with F and stop at D, which makes this angle right in here smaller than a right angle. It's smaller, like a little puppy dog, like a little kitten, okay, like a little bearded dragon. It is small. That's called an acute angle. Oh, cute. Get it? Okay, so acute angle. Small, like a little puppy dog, like a kitten with their claw. Anybody ever had a kitten where you hold it and then the claws just dig right into you and you're like, wow, this is cute, but boy, this thing hurts. And you say, all right, go play with your squeaky toy. All right, well, forget about that. That is an acute angle. It's so cute. It's a small angle right here. Now, what's the difference between an acute angle and an obtuse angle? Obtuse, obnoxious, huge. So we know an acute angle is smaller than a right angle. So again, let's go ahead and start with our right angle. Come over here, try to stay on the line. But instead of making a small, cute angle, I'm gonna we'll put our point right here. I'm gonna come over here and make a huge Caroline. Huge. Now let's call this point right here X. We'll call this right here Y. And then we'll call this point here Z. So this is angle X, Y, Z. Now, I'm going to start with X, Y, Z. So right here, I knew if I was going to make a right angle, it would just simply be that box right here, that square. But we could start at Z. It doesn't matter if we start at X or Z, but we need to touch those. And we know our intersecting point right here is Y. So I'm going to come all the way over here. Okay, let's go to our line, actually our array, because we have a point right here, and then just keep going and going and going. Come over here, Look how huge this is. Now we have to bypass or break right through the imaginary right angle. Come over here. Look, look how small that is. Look how huge this one is right here. Obtuse angle, huge, obnoxious, obtuse, ugly, obtuse. So it's huge. Just the opposite of a cute little angle. Obtuse is huge. It is obnoxious. It is a lot bigger than just a simple right angle. Let me put it down up here. I know it's bothering some of you guys. There we go. There we go. Okay, so that is the difference between an acute angle and an obtuse angle. Look at this and compare it to our right angles. Now, the last one that we're going to talk about, we're going to put a straight angle, and I'm going to use this line down here so we don't get too close to our obnoxious, obtuse angle. A straight angle, and I'm going to call this XYZ. Let's call this PDQ. XYZ PDQ. Okay, so we're going to go PDQ. PDQ. Oh, you guys can't even see that. I'm sorry about that. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, so we're calling that PDQ. This is a straight angle. So this is angle PDQ. Let's fix this. We do things first class right around here. So PDQ is simply forms a straight line. So we go from angle PDQ. It starts out on this straight line. It comes all the way over and it ends right there. It basically just forms a half moon. If it would have kept going around, then I'd make a circle. So PDQ is these two lines intersect a Q right here, and it is straight, goes forever this direction, straight goes forever this direction. That is a straight angle. That's a straight angle. Okay. What do you say we cut this off, you guys? Because that's a lot of vocabulary words for you. That's a lot. Okay, so what you're going to need to do, because we just learned 8 different vocabulary words, 4 things about lines, 4 different types of angles. You're going to have to take a look at the examples in your math book. You're going to have to take a look at the notes that you took. Make sure you pause it if you need to. You should have written down exactly what I wrote down. And that way, when you take your online quiz, then you have your examples, your reference right there underneath your nose, in between your eyeballs. And it's going to help you get a good score. I promise you that. Okay, that's all I have for today. All we learned about were points, angles, and lines. Okay, and different types of lines, line segments, the rays, and so forth. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I hope you're having a great morning so far. And until then, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for those stars. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.